show a show. We chop chop and more, and it's one thing that I will insert. In fact, I'll boldly assert that she is the most peaceful place on earth. Now what she faced, a hereafter, make no mistake, she will prosper. I'm not worried. The red, gold, and green, 50 years from now, we'll be flying, proudly flying. Give her some time. She's not yet in her prime. She's only 50. Oh, oh, give her some time. She's not yet in her prime. She just reached half a century. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Sing, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Na, 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 na. Whoa. Dr. Rod, turn it up for Grenada. Yeah. My land that you celebrate 50. Some call you a little baby. Others say you Johnny come lately. Oh, yo. But they don't know about your history. All the things you have been through was too much for you. Yet you had resilience to stand them. Revolution, intervention, and coup. Yet you produce some beautiful children. This is the land that has famous people like Junior Murray. This is the land under St. Peters and Champion Kirani. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, we cannot let off my birth. Let's celebrate. Oh, yeah. 50, it will be great. This is the land we produce people like the mighty sparrow. This is the land Randy Isaac Becky with Zeda Jamo. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, we cannot let off my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, it will be great. We don't talk much about your troubles. No, no. You have been through many struggles. That's true. Yet you rose up from the rubbles. Yeah, yeah. Proving resilience as a people. Storms and hurricane. Yet you came back again. Even COVID-19 couldn't stop you. So much destructive human try to destroy this island. Yet we're standing strong as a nation. This is the land, let's remember the godfather of this country. This is the land, the right honorable Eric Matthew Gary. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, we cannot let off my birth. Let's celebrate. Oh, yeah. 50, it will be great. This is the land, yeah, Mary Shokit, Mitchell and Deacon. This is the land, some strong leaders that come from this island. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, we cannot let off my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, it would be great. Big celebration for my little island. Let's celebrate. Oh, let us celebrate. Big celebration for my little island. Let's celebrate. Whoa, whoa, let us celebrate. Let's celebrate. 50, we made it to half a century. Let's celebrate. Whoa, whoa, come, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. 50, we made it to half a century. Let's celebrate. Yeah, yeah, let's celebrate. Whoa. This is the land. We have got Felix and Jennifer hosting. This is the land. Maurice Bishop, Howard Blaze and Judge Prison. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, we cannot let off my birth. Let's celebrate. Oh, yeah. 50, it will be great. This is the land. We have Killer Boys, it all free and squeezy. This is the land. Dash Terra Thunder and Little Natty. Land of my birth. Mr. Leg, King Collar, Teacher Eddie. Land of my birth. Valley Ned and Lady Simpty. Land of my birth. Lava Man, Lunis Pack and Electrify. Land of my birth. Whoa, 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 whoa. Land of my birth. I just cannot mention everybody. Land of my birth. All Grenadians just sing this song with me. Land of my birth. Land of my birth. Land of my birth. Land of my birth. Land of my birth.
One people, one journey, one future is And a good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. It's now 5 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada.
Colonized in the 18th century, independence 74, Grenada.
It is our Talking Thursday. Or Thursday Night Talks, yeah. The Thursday Night Talks. Talking Tuesdays, Thursday Night Talks, yeah.
Some call the Conception Island, others call the La Grenada. We call the Grenada. That's the name we truly prefer.
My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour.
Advance, that's the motto of my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland.
And of course, we say a special good night to those of you, my Canadian friends. Good night to you, Canada. Good night to Canada. My good friends out there in Alberta in Canada, Montreal, Orlando,
No place that you'd rather be.
wherever you are out there in Canada, we say a special good night to you. Ian, what's up, bro? You know it go, bro. You know it grow.
Right here in my country.
So a special good night to you.
What's our first sight to see beauty for us?
Good night to you, Shemi.
The beaches, number one and free for all.
My good friend Shemi, I got a surprise in tongue yesterday. Eh?
That's mountain high and fireside. You will always meet a smile. Face and face don't matter to we. Hearts and hands help build this country. This is home.
Good night to all of the listeners on the YouTube. I haven't brought up the YouTube on this screen yet. Let me make sure I have the YouTube up and running. What kind of thing is that, eh?
That's the motto of my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet,
Folks, remember to like and share, yeah?
my sweet.
Let's see the numbers going up there right now. And to those of you on the Facebook, a special good night to each and every one of you. Hope that you all are having a fabulous night tonight. Zela, Xelia, Zoe, good night to both of you. Well, three of you, yeah. Adejan, good night to you. It's bedtime, eh? You're right now. Yeah, bedtime. And we say a special good night to those of you in the town of St. George. We know, yeah, there is the meeting taking place tonight at the Methodist School, Park School, yeah.
Let's take full flight. Many trials we've encountered.
So Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell,
Grenada,
together with the Honorable Peter David and the Honorable Emlyn Pear.
3 islands, one guarantee. Once a year, you won't want to leave. Take a walk or take a drive. Safest place you'll be in life.
So I know some of my good friends are over there right now.
On the side is where I belong.
Don't play talking points too loud to disturb the meeting, eh?
So, my land, my sweet.
Folks, just reminding you all, this is going to be our final program for the week. Yeah, we will not be having the Friday night forum tomorrow night.
My sweet homeland, my land.
Yeah, there are one or two things I need to organize properly before I can restart the Friday night forum. So this will be our final program for this week. And we're going to be off for a couple Fridays until we sort everything out, eh? There's a lot that has to take place in the background. You all realized last week, for instance, I had to have Javon in with me, eh? We got to sort all of that out properly once again. And then we'll be back up and running with the Friday night program, yeah? Good night to all of you on the Facebook. Good night to all of you listening via 94.9 We Noise Radio. My good friends out there in Carriacou, good night to each and every one of ya.
Man, there is a place that is under the sun, 133 square miles. Even though we're very small, come visit, you'll have a ball. I tell you, this is a paradise. A lot of people don't know we have nutmeg and cocoa. That is how we came the Isle of Spice. So in
Let me say a special good night to all of the listeners who I met in town today. Over the week, generally, I've been meeting a lot of folks who listen to the program religiously on a nightly basis. And I just want to say a special good night to each and every one of you.
Here he came back from England, that day was liberation. He brought back the ice, gold and green flag. Happy anniversary to my little country. Now won't you join with me and sing this melody? We celebrating 50.
And folks, we're going to open the phone lines 440-7377 and 347-329-3101.
Even the blind could see this here is history.
And I know many of you will have questions to ask in relation to a news story that you've seen floating around and so on. And let me just pull that up. The New National Party has sent out a release in relation to that, and let me just read that out for you all. All right, yeah, so let me just pull it up here. Nice, yeah, because I know a lot of folks have been asking questions in relation to this, right? And the New National Party, right, clarifies Dr. Bert Brafitt's membership status. And it is dated today. The New National Party wishes to clarify and share the facts regarding recent decisions concerning Dr. Bert Brafitt's involvement with the national executive. We recognize the public interest in our internal affairs and strive for transparency in our communications. Below are the pertinent details. 1, and let me just bring it up here. Yes, right. 1. Dr. Bert Brafitt was personally invited by the political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, to attend the executive meetings as an invitee and not as an executive member. Dr. Brafitt has never been an elected executive member. Secondly, during a previous national executive meeting, Dr. Mitchell withdrew his invitation to Dr. Brafitt. He stated that the national executive was free to independently invite Dr. Brafitt if they saw fit without objection from him. Third, a committee was formed specifically to address this issue and provide guidance to the national executive on the matter. Fourth, Dr. Brafitt was asked to exit the meeting temporarily, pending a decision by the executive following the withdrawal of his initial invitation. Fifth, the committee advised that the national executive should take a vote to decide whether Dr. Brafitt should be invited again to participate in the executive meetings. Sixth, prior to the vote, a letter from Dr. Brafitt was presented and discussed extensively by the executive members, which set the stage for the subsequent decision. Seventh, the executive was then asked to vote on whether to invite Dr. Brafitt to rejoin the executive meetings as an invitee. Eighth, the political leader abstained from voting. 9, an overwhelming majority of the executive members voted against extending an invitation to Dr. Brafitt. 10th, Dr. Brafitt remains a valued member of the New National Party and retains his membership rights within the party. The NNP remains committed to organizing and strengthening our party structure to address the social and economic challenges facing Grenada. We appreciate the continued support and input from our community as we prepare for these vital efforts. And that is the press release by the New National Party in relation to the issue of the withdrawal of the invitation to Dr. Bert Brafitt. Because I've been hearing a lot of stories, I've been hearing a lot of narratives, I've been hearing a lot of spins out there. It is simply this. I myself have previously been an invitee to the executive of the New National Party. You do not vote, you don't have voting rights as an invitee. You have the elected executive members, which are positions like the political leader, deputy political leader, chairperson, deputy chairperson, general secretary, etc. You have all those positions down to floor members, And then in addition to those elected members that you elect at a convention, you have invitees, which are people that you believe could add to a discussion, could add parallels to a discussion, or they have information that can help you in making decisions and so on. And as such, they are invited to the executive. So Dr. Bert Braffett was an invitee to the executive. I'm being very clear here, to the executive of the New National Party. He has not been expelled from the New National Party. He has not been kicked out from the New National Party. He has simply been disinvited. That is a word? Disinvited or uninvited as a member of the executive. Well, not really a member of the executive, but an invitee to the executive meetings. Yeah? Because the executive are the people who are elected at a convention. And he was simply uninvited. Dr. Mitchell, as the political leader, extended an invite to him. That invite was withdrawn. Not yesterday, it was withdrawn before. You could have just said, well, I withdraw my invite and he's no longer allowed to attend. It could have been done that way. Still, Dr. Mitchell didn't go that direction. He withdrew his invite, but he left it up to the executive that, hey, while my invite is withdrawn, you all as the executive of the party can invite him, or you all can decide that you no longer want him as an invitee to the executive. So he has not been, I hear some people say, oh, NNP kick him. NNP has not kicked him out. The man is a card-carrying member of the New National Party. A card-carrying member of the New National Party. So he has not been kicked out of the New National Party. So he is no longer invited to executive meetings. That's simply it. But you hear all kind of stories out there, and they're running around trying to give the impression that Rome burning, Rome burning. That's the impression that they're trying to give out there, which is not the case. The gentleman presented a letter. I have no idea what the letter had. I am not a member of the executive. I was not there. But he presented a letter. Whatever was in that letter formed the basis of the discussion that took place by the executive to decide whether or not he will remain as an invitee, or he will be re-invited, or he will not be re-invited. That discussion took place. A vote took place. Nobody didn't step in there and just say, no, we don't want him, come out from here. That did not take place. Yeah, that did not take place. So it was simply a case of him no longer being invited as a member of the executive. But you see, there are people who continue to focus on NNP this, NNP that, NNP the other. The New National Party has been out of office. Next month going to be 2 years. Next month is going to be 2 years that the New National Party has been out of office. Yeah? And in that period of time, while being out of office, many things have taken place in this country that we've spoken about. You've had accusations leveled against the prior cabinet, the New National Party cabinet. You have had accusations leveled against members of the New National Party that they have rebutted. You've had investigations that were supposed to be taking place in relation to things that was disappearing on the port. And you're hearing that a very senior government minister was involved in that. That disappeared. Yeah? All of that information, all of those things disappear. You've had various other issues that have come up over the past 2 years. Various other issues that have come up. But some people don't want you to focus on those issues. They would like us to take the 2 hours of talking points and talk about the New National Party. You have one Calypsonian, NNP in office, he attacking NNP. NNP out of office, he attacking NNP. Well, if that is the way he does go and win a couple $1,000, you can't vex with him, I can't vex with him. We can't vex with him. Yeah? And I'm talking about So or if you're afraid to call somebody name, what they would do? Call my name in a song again? Been there, done that. There is nothing they can say that they have not said before. There is nothing that they can do that they have not done before. So me afraid them. Scholar, yes. Singing all kind of song on the new national party. Win crown, all kind of thing, how much times? Come back, NNP out of office, he's still singing on NNP. I wouldn't vex with him, you know. Because that is what you have to do to be able to get into the finals and probably get into the top 5 to earn a significant amount of money during the carnival season. If that is what you have to do to be able to get to go on to some shows and different things like that. That the man business, that is not my business. That is he business. Even if he called my name in his song, that is he business. I can't vex with him. If he says something that is slanderous or so, yeah, well, there are other recourses to deal with those things. But other than that, you ain't bother with him. But you find that these individuals are laser focused on attacking the new national party. Laser focused on discussing the business of the new national party. So while the new national party is there and you're reorganizing, so in each constituency, each of the 15 constituencies, you're reorganizing, as well as in the 16th constituency, which is the diaspora, you are organizing. But they want to distract the members of the new national party. They want to distract you to focus on other things. So you disinvite somebody from the executive, national news, who throw in talk on the internet and all kind of nonsense. Well, it's the internet. Ain't it? It's their account. They could say what they want to say. That is up to them. But it doesn't mean that we have to focus on them. We have a country to save. You have a group of incompetent leaders. You have 2 people murdered within the last week. 2. By the gun in the state of Grenada. Within the last 365 days, the only time you have had more people within the state of Grenada die by the gun is in October 1983. That's the only other time you have that amount of people die by the bullet in Grenada was in October 1983. And we all know, or all should know, what took place in October 1983. That's the only other time you had that amount of people dying by bullet. But they want to have that discussion. Your prime minister comes on. He has the optimum opportunity, he has the perfect opportunity to at least show some concern for the families that have been affected by the 2 murders and 1 apparent suicide, because, you know, sometimes you might be hearing it's a suicide one time and then you hear other stories after. So right now it's an alleged suicide. But you know it's a murder because the person was there, they were alive, and somebody passed with a gun and shoot them and kill them. You know they're dead. In the other instance, you had an altercation, the person kill the next one. But your prime minister doesn't find it necessary, with all the local media focused on him, to, even if you don't want to delve deeply into the issue, at the end of your press conference to say to the families that are affected, the families of those that have died, the families of those involved on the other side, who didn't send their family member to do that. They didn't send their family member. No mother didn't send their child to go and do that. And right now they may be feeling it. But you didn't have you had the opportunity, but you didn't utilize it to at least show some emotion and say to the family, we understand your pain. We have an issue, we need to work on it. Nobody says you take up the gun and go and kill people, but at least show some concern and some empathy, some emotional intelligence. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. So they don't want you to focus on some of the bills that they've been passing, like the electronic communications bill. They want you to forget. They think I forget that. May forget it, you know. We will discuss it. The data protection bill. They don't want you to talk about those things. They don't want you to focus on things like the fact that you're going to shift the traffic wardens from under the division that they're working to now under to the Transport Commission. And a whole lot of changes are coming, and so they don't want you to discuss those things. They don't want you to discuss the state of healthcare. The fact that people are meeting you in the street and they're telling you that there is no medication at our nation's health facilities. Minister come, minister go, same stupidness taking place. That people are going to the general hospital and to out clinics and so on, and they are not receiving the quality of care that they ought to receive, not because we don't have competent people. We have very competent nurses and doctors. Very competent nurses and doctors. But because the government isn't keeping up its end of the bargain. You know, they've had to cancel surgeries and so on because the medication that they need post-op and pre-op for before, during, and after the surgery, especially the pain medication, they don't have it. So that people that ought to have surgery, they're getting a call, oh, we have to reschedule you to this time, and we have to reschedule you to that time. Meanwhile, they may have something that's slowly killing them. But we have to schedule you to this time, and we have to schedule you to that time, because they do not have the medication that is necessary to be able to deal with these issues. But no, focus on who going and become leader, party, and all this thing. That is what they want you to focus on. That is what they want you to focus on. They don't want you to focus on the promises that they made during the election campaign, that contract work is illegal, and that you have a lawyer from the East that's going to defend the workers of this country. And if it means going to the High Court and getting a High Court judgment, they're going to do it because they have to defend the workers. Contract work is wrong. It needs to end. That within 1 year, they're going to end contract work. That they're going to take all the Imani off of the program and give them permanent employment. I don't know if they didn't understand. Some Imani are fully under the government service and some are government and working with, they're under the program, but they work with the private sector in different capacities. So let me see how they're making them permanent. So you hear all these things that when you look at youth development, if we did not come out, if the Honorable Kate Skeeter, Lois Peters did not come out and call them out in relation to Empower and give how Empower started, how it come about, that Trinidad come and they start to Empower, that other countries looking to start Empower. In fact, Trinidad even named theirs Empower, the same name as Grenada. And recently they had another batch going out in Tobago and so on under the Empower program in Trinidad. Meanwhile, here in Grenada, the place that birthed the program, you're now going and start Empower 4.2 and you're jumping up. Oh, we're going to start. You're only starting it because we call you out on it. Lazy people. You all only call it, and I consider lazy. Lazy people. That is why they now go in and run and do it. When young people have an idea and they want to start a business, and they're looking for the funding to start the business, no youth biz. No youth biz. Tell me, you need a national youth policy to tell you that you need to provide financing for young people to start their own business, micro businesses, whether it's that they're going to make handmade jewelry, whether it's they're going to open a little ice cream shop or some kind of thing, or they want to do a little barbering in the community because they could cut hair, well, and fellas come in and do it in the veranda, but they want to fix up a nice little space so they could do it properly, a little more professional, whether it's to do that or so on, or a young lady that does do here and she's doing a lot of people here, she braiding and so on, but she had to do it, sit down in the veranda or sit down under a tree, and she want to say, okay, I just want to block off a little area by the house and be able to do it properly. No, they ain't providing funding for that. Focus on NNP. That is the thing. And then, when people go and sing on their party, they want them shut up. Because right now, you have to learn to ball with your mouth closed in this country. I remember it's on this program we start talking about the balling with the mouth closed, you know. And that is where you have the calypsos and so coming from. Is on this program we start talking about balling with your mouth closed. Because we recognize that a lot of people here, they don't have a choice. They have to ball with their mouth closed because there's this atmosphere of fear that has been created in the state of Grenada right now that a lot of people are afraid to speak. If you're a civil servant, in other words, if you work and are paid by the government of Grenada, the vast majority of these workers are afraid to make any statement positive towards the former administration or members of the former administration, or negative towards the present administration or any aspect of what they are doing or any member there. They are afraid. And then on top of that, you send out circulars to the workers saying, if you go and you put anything on social media, they're going to take action against you. Well, hear what? There's an individual by the name of Finley Jeffrey, a sure public service commission. Because all you can't touch nobody until all you touch he. And all you ain't going and touch scholar. Under the New National Party, the New National Party didn't touch him, they elevate him. But all you're sending out thing and telling people don't talk politics and don't get involved in this and that. Well, let me tell all you where to start. Start at the permanent secretary. Start at Mr. Finley Jeffrey himself. Because he is involving himself in politics. Not just the government, but he's attacking the opposition leader. Yeah? He's attacking the opposition leader. And it's not the first time, second time or so on. So before you all call in people that you perceive to be supporters of the New National Party, because they're the only ones all you're calling in. The nasty nurse and them who saying all kind of nastiness about people online, you all ain't calling them in. You all are not writing letters to them. You all are not telling them report to the Public Service Commission and giving them a talking to. You all are not effecting any tribunal to question them, to ask them questions of why they do what they do and so on. You all ain't doing that. But when you all perceive, you all don't know, but you perceive someone to be a supporter of the New National Party, you all calling them down to Public Service Commission. So it's two Grenadas right now. It's two, is the NNP and the NDC. So it seems as though if you're an NNP, you're not supposed to work, you're not supposed to talk. Shut me up. There's the challenge. Shut me up. Yeah, if others want to remain quiet, I'm remaining quiet. Yeah, I refuse. Bluntly. I refuse. And if others want to stay there and take the debt as sheep, I ain't no sheep. I ain't no sheep. Telling all you straight. And I ain't going down like no sheep. I talking. I saying it as it is. Who like it? Like it. Who don't like it? Don't like it. Yeah? There are many issues in our country. But people afraid to talk. So you look at the crime situation. Again, government has its role. We as citizens have our role. But government has to be the leading agency to bring everybody together to effect positive change. Or at least they should be the leading agency. It is a formula that has worked in the past. If they don't know, go and find Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. Go and find Honorable Emlyn Pear. Go and find Mr. Norman Gilbert, wherever he is. Go and find Miss Jenna Charles. Go and find them. I think Miss Elva James is still within a ministry there. I think she's in Foreign Affairs or whatever. Now go and find Miss Elva James. All of these are people who were directly involved in dealing with this issue before. As government leading the charge to deal with this and calming down a lot of situations that took place before. So if you don't know how to deal with it, at least go and ask a question. There are people who are wrong. And there are a lot of other people too I could name, I could call names because I was involved. So there are a lot of other people whose name you can call that were directly involved in it. Go and find them today. But what you all do with Mr. Norman Gilbert, take him and chuck him in the Ministry of Finance because Ministry of Education because, we find he's an NNP, so you take him and chuck him there. You frustrate Mr. Andal till he go. And right now you're trying to frustrate because the stories are coming out, where they are doing different things and trying their very best to frustrate as many of the people that are within the public service right now who they perceive to be New National Party supporters to get them to go. Some who might be on contract, some who are not on contract but are permanent workers under the Public Service Commission. They are appointed by the Public Service Commission, etc. They are frustrating them. You have loads of policemen that have left the Royal Grenada Police Force, and I'm talking about one or two. A significant number of police officers have left the Royal Grenada Police Force. They go. Because, why have they gone? Because of what has been taking place within the Royal Grenada Police Force. They realize that they're seeing people come in just the other day, and because they're friend with this minister or that minister and so on, boom, they get all kind of rank. And while they get rank, you have other officers who have been working hard, burning the midnight oil. In fact, they burn the midnight oil until they burn the Masanto and all. Yet still, they can't get a little something simply because they are perceived to be supporters of the New National Party. Or they may have worked at the Prime Minister's residence under the last Prime Minister at some point in time. Or they may have worked at the ministerial complex at some point in time. So they perceive them as an NP. So they treat them in a kind of way. And you shift them and you demote who you want to demote and so on. So many of these officers have decided, hey, I had to stay here and take this. I make my number of years already. I could take early retirement, and they take the early retirement and they go. And that is the concept that this government is operating on. They are trying to get rid. And when you have, and I don't want to call them a trade union leader because they are excused for a trade union leader like Judas Judah and them, calling on the government to get rid of NNPites within the public service, as though these people were not born in Grenada, as though these people are not Grenadian citizens carrying Grenadian passports through birth, as though these people have no rights in Grenada, as though the Constitution of Grenada of 1973 doesn't cover these people, as though these people don't have families, as though these people don't have a life, as though these people don't understand the job that they're doing. Just get rid of them NNP in the system. That's the kind of nasty attitude they have. Calling themselves trade. In any other country, they can never be a trade union leader. Where you ever go in a country and hear trade union leaders calling for people to fire people? Any other country, they can never be a trade union leader. But we tolerate it here. We tolerate it. So folks, 440-7377. That's 440-7377. Yeah? 440. So don't ball with your mouth closed. Open your mouth and talk. Open your mouth and talk. Don't ball with your mouth closed. Don't let the pressure build up. Don't let it build up. It might break your teeth when it's coming out. Don't stay there and let the pressure build up. Talk it out. Yeah? 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. That's the number to get on to the inside. Hello, good night.
Yeah.
Hello? 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 Caller, you're live.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
Good night, Sheldon.
Hi, night, my dear. You're live. Go right ahead.
Yeah, good night.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just calling to ask you if you have an idea of the Prime Minister with the people with the private vehicle, like what you say, he have too much of private vehicle, and like the people could take the vehicle and to run taxi, and like if they can buy piece of land or whatever, or I was calling to ask you if you have an idea of that.
Okay, what I can say is this: the Prime Minister has put forward a position that Grenada has too much vehicles, and that therefore that you need a public transportation system so that people wouldn't need as much vehicles, because somewhere in his mind he believes that people really want to be riding a bus and not have their own car. Somewhere in his mind he believes that you would prefer to have to take a bus from, let's say, St. George's to St. David in the night and not have your own vehicle where you could go up the road, and if you want to stop by a local shop and get something and so on, you could do that and then come up the road. Or if you want to visit a relative, you drop and you visit. The kind of freedom that having your own vehicle has. In his mind, no, Grenadians ain't want that. What Grenadians need is a public transportation system. Now we know and we acknowledge that there are problems when it comes to public transportation. We could agree on that, isn't it?
Yeah, we could agree on that. But what I try to say, he reach far. He end up in people business then. Because, if you have a private vehicle, you have a private vehicle for your use, you do what you want to do private vehicle, but the private minister can telling you that, or finding out of order there. But what I try to say, Grenadians deserve the government we have. And I don't blame him for that on the other side. Because we had a good thing going ahead, and they just filed it. So then, I don't disagree with him with the people now with the vehicle. So we deserve the government we want it, and we get it. So have a good night.
All right. Thank you very much. 4407377. That's 4407377. And I think I've been very clear last night on it. And for those of you that missed, I did say that the Prime Minister can have his personal view, but his personal view cannot become national policy. We're seeing it over and over and over being put forward as national policy, the Prime Minister's personal view. And that's dangerous. We have a caller online. Good night. Hello?
Mr. Scott.
Hey, sir. How you doing?
Senator. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, man. You're like right ahead.
Is a mouth full. So the mouth start opening. Because the mouth and them full up. So the mouth start opening now, because it surprised me to see all the union leaders and them, the majority of them speaking out. You understand? Because, Senator, we know he's a cooperative lawyer. We know that. They know that. They know what this type of lawyer stands for. They fight the people in the country for all the cooperatives. You understand me? They know that. That's why I say even we in the NMP didn't do a good job. Because we never lambast this man. You understand? We allow this man to get in because he can beat me and he can beat me. When someone comes with the lies, sheldon, and they stay their lies in your head for how long? After a while, you think it's true they're speaking. But look at all the lies the Prime Minister come to the Grenadian people with. It's sad. And he's still again, he can't change. He's still sat down in press conference and still continue lying. What he could do about the private owners? Mr. Prime Minister, what you could do about private owners? People work hard. We used to walk the street 3 miles to go to school and even more. You understand? And today we are come now that we could have with kids, have a vehicle to take us around. And you find something wrong with that? Well, you could jump in your vehicle with your security and go anywhere you want. Come on, Mr. Prime Minister. Think better than that. Do better than that. Because everything they ask you, as Wizard say, you don't know. Everything they ask you, you don't know. Anything serious getting on in the country, anything happening in the country serious, you don't know. Why, Mr. Prime Minister? Why? Why do you feel that you could come to us anytime you want? We give you the job. We take a chance with you, as the union leader said. But if we follow your record, we know you didn't fit enough to be a leader of a country because he was fighting us long before election. And the Grenadian people never look at that. They're looking at you young. Morris died at 39. You understand me? Keith Mitchell get into politics at the age of 24. Winston White at the age of 25, 26. You're talking about, everybody talking about like you just reach here. Yes, you just reach here because you just get involved in politics in your 40s. But you have no experience. You never sit in a parliament and understand what is going on. But you go in parliament and you're telling people that use a lawyer, anybody want to challenge you. Anybody want to challenge you, use this BFA. You know what I mean? Mr. Prime Minister, stop at this thing. Stop it. Listen to the people. Listen, the people are hurting. Listen to the people. You understand? Don't do what you want. Do what the country asks you to do on behalf of the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Not as a few, just a few. Come on, Mr. Prime Minister, do better than that. Sheldon, you have a good one.
Thank you very much, my brother. Yes, indeed, that's my good bro out there in Canada. Folks, and you know, here's the weird thing. The Prime Minister is saying too much vehicles. But what did they do in the budget? They put up on the cost of your vehicle to license your vehicle. They put up on the cost of that, right? They created the environment now where more people could go and get the upgraded license. We'll come back to that. We have a call online. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, good night, my dear.
How are you?
I'm quite fine. You go right ahead. You're live.
All right. I just want to state something. And I don't know how people would view it, but in Carriacou, the big bad man in Carriacou that is in charge of Carriacou, the PS. And I ain't hiding to say I'm afraid to see.
Oh, the PS in Carriacou, Petit Martinique
Yes.
and Carriacou. Yes, okay.
Get yourself and take the police and go in people's yard to take sand. If somebody take 2 bags of sand or 2 buckets of sand, the man driving around, going from place to place, driving around to see who has sand there and taking police and go and take back sand.
No, well, hold on. You're telling me that a permanent secretary leave the office,
Yes.
get police officers,
He drive
and
around.
go in and take out
He
sand
go,
from people
he
yard?
go around, he look, and what he observe, he go and get police officer and demand that the son, he putting it to them that the son come out on the bay and he get the police to go with him and take the son back.
What kind of papi show thing are going on up there, girl?
Well, me, I know, you know.
What kind of man shape up
You
is
know
that?
what I have to say? Don't worry. Time is longer than twine. Time is longer than twine. Have a good night.
All right, thank you very much, my dear. What kind of man shape up is that, eh? Madness. You going around taking out sad out of people that say you have nothing better to do. You have no environmental wardens or some kind of thing, and how you prove it, Lord? That one is a whole program for itself. that individual in Carriacou, that is a whole program for itself. Because up to now, you have 5 people that have a case lingering, going on 2 years, and it look like it go make it to the end of the 5 years. Lingering. The permanent secretary in Carriacou refuses to make himself available when the Ministry of Labor attempts to arbitrate in relation to this matter. The union waiting, the union there, and me even know. Union, maybe you need to push a little more, or maybe you need to go another route. I don't know what the process entails. If the process entails that if you can't get a meeting to discuss the issue, because people were sent home, they had holidays inside, they didn't get paid for the holidays. Yeah? They had monies inside, they didn't get the money. Those workers in Carriacou. So as it is right now, the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs still owe some of these people. On top of that, they were unfairly, under any labor law you could look at in Grenada relating to that matter, these individuals were unfairly treated. And there is no equity in it because there are other people that working in ministries still that do worse than what they accuse these individuals of doing. But no, don't talk about that. Focus on, let me tell you something. And let me just make it clear. Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Honorable Peter David, Honorable Emlyn Pierre, and all the other MPs and so on, they are NNP. They don't belong to no other political party. They are NNPites. Yeah, just remember that at the end of the day. Because you have people out there who are trying to divide and conquer. You kick out people. You don't kick out nobody. Kick out your people from your party. Is when you hold a convention. NDCites, so they might remember a story similar to this. Kicking out people from your party is when you hold a convention, as one that happened in the year 2012. Was 2011 or 2012? 2012, I think it was, yeah. When you hold a convention, and then you go to the convention, and you kick out, as in they are no longer members of the NDC. Kick out over a dozen people. Just kick them out. They didn't get up and say, we go in. They didn't leave. You kick them out of your political organization. We're talking about a man who is still a member, a card-carrying, dues-paying member of the New National Party. Yeah? So just remember, when you pelting big stone at people's house, remember your house make a glass. Yeah? 440-7377. 440-7377. That is the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Let me just respond quickly to someone here.
That is how we came the Isle of Spice. So in 1974, Uncle Gary fought for so. That is when we became recognized. But that wasn't sufficient. We wanted independence, so we could be proud like Trinidad. Gary came back from England. That day was liberation. He brought back the ice, gold and green flag. Happy anniversary to my little country. Now won't you join with me and sing this melody? We celebrating 50. Let us live in unity. Put away political party. Even the blind could see. This year is history, our golden jubilee. Now I know there was a time under the...
Right, yeah, sometimes, you have to multitask. Try to organize different things at the same time. 440, let me make sure the box is clear. 440-7377. And yes, folks, the WhatsApp is working. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Yeah, so I know maybe just now to go tell us that we need to put back horse and cat and all kind of thing. That is a more efficient and more economic and more environmentally friendly way, because the horses and them, they go leave local manure that you could take and put in the bush for gardening and thing. And I don't know, maybe they might tell us to use ox cat or something. Just so you cannot impose on a people your personal preferences as national policy. Yeah? You may believe that we have too many cars, and it goes against what you have been saying. You have been saying that the Grenadians were dying under the New National Party and they were unable to achieve anything under the New National Party. And so how they have all these cars that some houses, according to your estimation, some houses have as much as 5 cars in it. That don't sound as people that was there and they grinding and they suffering and that kind of thing. They may be grind and suffer and do what they have to do to make sure that they could purchase their vehicle and maintain the vehicle and different things like that. But it is not incumbent on you. It is not up to you to decide if they could buy a vehicle or not. Suppose I live in Cherry Hill and I work down in Grenada and so. And sometimes in coming up, I want to stop at the supermarket and get some stuff and so I have to go and take public transport to do that. I want the flexibility to be able to move when I want to move and do what it is that I have to do. So if you decide And you said you had to have a discussion. Don't even bother having that discussion on things like whether we want to restrict people to one vehicle a home. Then explain to me, what were the thought processes, if that is the belief, what were the thought processes for the budget of 2024, for the measures that were put inside there that, quote unquote, could increase the amount of vehicles on the streets even further? Because, yes, you zero rate some of the taxes in relation to EV vehicles, the battery operated. Always only certain people could afford that anyway. The average person here in Grenada, they can't afford them kind of vehicles. Them Tesla and them kind of thing, you have to be carrying real dinero. And plus, where you fixing it? Where you fixing it? When something go wrong with it here, where you fixing it? You have to put it in a container and ship it back? Where you fix it? Or they flying somebody in to come and fix it for you? Or they have to wait until about 3 or 4 have a problem and then they fly in a person to do it. How are they fixing it? So there's the infrastructure part of it. But then you say, for all the vehicles on the roads, that you have increased because you need to maintain the roads and you have a projection of how much money you want to make to be able to maintain the roads. So you have increased the licensing fee for a vehicle. You've increased that. So with increasing that licensing fee and taking into consideration the numbers of vehicles on the roads, you therefore have calculated how much money you intend to raise on a yearly basis. But if you're looking to reduce the number of vehicles on the roads, you're also going to be reducing the amount of income you're getting from that to fix the roads. So I'm trying to figure out the thought process that you all went through, because things just don't line up and match up when it comes to the NDC. Eh? They say one thing and they do another. Or you realize they go in left but the foot going right. All sorts of madness. It just does not make sense. You have your policy in relation to guns. You don't like guns. Okay, you don't like guns, all well and good. Nice. That's not a problem. You could do like it. But you can't take that and make that national policy because you don't like it. Next thing you will say you don't like long pants, so everybody had to wear short pants in Grenada? Anyway, let's take this caller. We have a caller online. Good night.
Yes, good night, Brother Sheldon. Greetings to Grenada.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good night to you.
The honest truth is I just come from class. I don't know exactly what you're discussing.
Go ahead, man. It's Thursday night. You go ahead.
Yeah, but something is up my sleeve, my gum, my chest, my everything. I got a phone call from a good friend this afternoon, and he said to me that there is a new legislation to be had coming up. The Nawasa legislation concerning the water. Is that true? Do you know about that?
There was a press conference today. But to be honest with you, because I was in and around and I myself was having water problems, so when I get Nawasa water today, I had to make use of it. I had to wash and thing. So I didn't get the opportunity to listen to the press conference yet. I had planned to do that tonight. But
all right.
on coming into the studio tonight, I did hear on the news that they've made some restrictions. I don't think you're allowed to wash vehicles and all these kind of things. I know already you're not allowed to be watering your lawn and those kind of things, and you're not allowed to wash down your pavement. You know, some people go and they scrub down the pavement. They have a hose.
I understand that.
You can't do any of those things. And I mean, Nawasa shouldn't have to come and tell us, to be honest, Nawasa shouldn't have to come and tell us that. That should be common sense.
Right. Okay, but so let's listen. Let's do the modest thing. Let's go ahead and listen to what they said and do a study on it first before I say what I have to say concerning that. Yeah.
Well, right. What I'll do is tonight I'll listen. As I said, we have no program tomorrow. Monday, of course, we have our normal Monday program. And I'm letting you know, just in case you hadn't heard last night, that Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will be our guest on Tuesday. Huh?
Okay, this coming Tuesday.
This Tuesday, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will be our guest on Talking Points with us.
Wonderful. All
right.
Well, a lot's going on today, so we need to hear him.
Yes, of course.
We need to hear him.
Yes.
All right,
right, my
so
brother. Thank
listen,
you.
brother, just keep your head up, and keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, all right. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, listening. I'm listening.
Well, look, a good friend of mine says here now, next thing them men say some of us making too much money. Well, no, if they find some of us making too much money, all they're going to do is they're going to lower the tax threshold. Yeah? If by expanding the tax base, they realize they're not realizing the amount of money that they want to make. Yeah? If they realize they're not making the amount of money that they wanted to make through broadening the tax base, in other words, by making more people pay. You could do that various ways. You could lower the threshold. So you could say instead of above $2,500, you lower the tax threshold to $2,000. So anybody making from $2,000, they're going to have to pay personal income tax. They could do that. It will bring in a lot of money because you'll have a lot of people that not paying personal income tax now that would have to pay. So they could broaden the tax base by doing that, by lowering the threshold. They could also increase for those who are paying. They could increase the amount of money that they have to pay. So they could do it that direction as well. So if they find some of us making too much money, you could look out for either which one of those. Yeah, that they might increase the amount of money that they're taking in relation to personal income tax. That is a possibility. Yeah, I remember one present sitting MP speaking sometime before they came into office. I'll find that clip. Yeah, with him speaking about needing to broaden the tax base and bring more people into the tax base, because understand, that is the reason that they're going after regularizing people on property. They are not regularizing people on property because they like them. They're not regularizing them because they love them. There are two things they're looking at. One, the vote. Two, the money. That's all they're looking at. They don't care nothing about those people. Let me repeat again. They don't care nothing about them people. All they care about is they believe that if they regularize that person on the piece of property that they have and they give them the papers and everything for it, that person is going to say, NDC give me this, and that person and their household may vote for the NDC. And they also know that once that person get them documents in hand, taxman come in for his share of the money every single year. As it is right now, those people who are out there and they are squatting on different land, they ain't paying taxes. They ain't paying taxes for what is on government land. They're not paying. So they're saying, let's bring these people in. So it's not because they love these people, not because they believe these people should have title to the land and so on. No, they're looking for a vote, and just be straight with it. It is not through any intrinsic sort of thing that they like people and they care about people. They're looking for a vote, and they're also looking for additional money coming into the treasury because they have to maintain the 15,000 or whatever it is they gain on a monthly basis. At least they're getting theirs. But the cooks in the schools not getting the proper salary. The cleaners, and I met another one today. Another cleaner today that was telling me, Mr. Scott, and I don't like them call me that, just say Sheldon. Yeah, but anyhow, Mr. Scott, are not receiving the minimum wage. They're not receiving it. I don't know why they're treating the cleaners that way. And all of these people are people that are working under the Ministry of Education. And they are not receiving the minimum wage that is promised. The government is committing an illegal act. Yeah? The government is and continues to commit an illegal act. But no, they want you to talk about that. Focus on NNP. Yeah, forget NDC. No, don't study that NDC in power. Focus on the NNP. That is what they want you to do. Focus on the new national party. That's what they want, and that's what they will always want, and that's why they will always try to shift you onto. So that you will not see their misdeeds and their failures. Because you're focusing, your attention is focused elsewhere. Yeah? You ain't focusing on the NNP, you're focusing. You ain't focusing on the NDC, you're focusing on NNP. Yeah? That is the sort of thing. 4407377, that's 440. As I say, don't ball with your mouth closed. Let it out. Don't ball with your mouth closed. All right? Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Proving
So 686 days.
Yes, we're standing strong as that day.
Yeah, that's how long they've been in office, yeah?
Let's remember the
I'm still looking to see something new that they have brought to the table except new salaries for themselves.
scary land of my birth. Let's celebrate.
And they're talking about vehicles. Ask them about if the ministers don't have new vehicles. I mean, yeah, you have a concession. I don't find nothing wrong if you have a concession as a minister. You have to move around. You have to be able to go into your constituency. According to your ministry, you have to move all over the island. So I don't have a problem if as a minister you get a new vehicle or you get a second-hand vehicle, whatever, but you get a vehicle so that you could move around and so. But okay, you ministers and them, yeah, ministers getting vehicle for some kind of fee. I know. I hear some kind of figures calling for vehicle day. How much? 100,000. That is up to them. It's them. Me have to pay it. Them have to pay it. Right? So you're hearing those things. But with all of that, yeah, with all of that, why you don't want the average man to be able to have one too? We have you on tape saying that, oh yeah, young people want vehicle and we want because you're looking for the vote. So yeah, young people want vehicle and yeah, I want vehicle too. Yeah? Ask the Prime Minister, since he feels this way, how much vehicles does he have? Yeah? How much does he have? Since he feels this way. We have a call online. Hello?
Good night, Mr. Sheldon. Sheldon, I want to know what's about the sanitizer money. I don't know if I don't hear nothing again.
What about the
sanitizer money, what they have for NBC for?
That's under the Faith program?
Yeah.
Girl, even at May Day, Andre Lewis raised that issue. Well, you know Andre Lewis ain't afraid nobody, so he's saying it as it is, eh?
Yeah.
So he raised that issue. And I know that the company does have an active court case in relation to that. Yeah?
Yeah, so anything I understand that Malina and them was in court?
No, not Miss Pear, not Honorable Emlyn Pear, but Faith Organization itself. Honorable Emlyn Pear has not been a part of that thing for many years.
So the code come through?
It has not completed. It has not been completed yet. But I know that there is an active case in relation to it. I don't know what stage it's at. If it is being heard at this point in time, or if it is down to be heard later in the year, or what. I'm not sure. And to be honest, caller, you deserve to know. I will find out. Yeah, you deserve to know, so I shall find out.
If they're doing the other thing and then they're supposed to give people their money and things, they want to do what they want, and people in Dutch.
Yes, indeed. All right, my dear. Yeah, and that is one of the workers under the Faith program that this government continues to refuse to pay. They pay themselves an additional $24,000 a month to begin with. Then they increase the amount of money to $15,000 basically that they get in overall or something like that, right? And then after all of that, these people who worked, they refuse to pay the people. Up to now, these people have still been waiting 600 and how much days they're in office now? 686 days later, these people are still waiting to get their money. And the Prime Minister says straight up, he ain't paying. He ain't paying. So they're in court. So what I need to do is find out where that particular case is at. I really need to do that so I can let the people who are involved, because there are many, it's not one or two people, there's a lot of people involved. Nearly every week I meet different people. Not every day, but every week I meet people who, Mr. Scott, you heard anything about our money under the Faith program? Mr. Scott, you heard anything about our money under the Faith program? So I need to find out some more about that.
Like Junior Murray, this is the land, and that's Peters and Champion Kirani, land of my birth. Let's celebrate 50, we cannot let off my birth. Let's celebrate, 50, it would be great. This is the land, we produce people like the mighty sparrow.
We have a call online. Good night. Hello.
Sheldon.
Hi, good night, caller. You're live.
Yeah. Well, Sheldon, well, what about really lower class and working people who don't make 30 years and things and we retire? They should have something in place to give us something. We work with the government too and we work hard. Why we don't get nothing? and he said that he will treat everybody, give everybody something, the lower class of people, and why that happening?
Well, let me say this, eh? You know they have no excuse. Under the new National Party, much people don't know this, eh? Under the new National Party, there is an act that was passed that allows cabinet to give a pension to people in situations like that. You work how much years,
Yes.
but you don't qualify for pension one way.
Yes.
That the cabinet of Grenada, on submission of documentation, can make a determination to give you a pension on a monthly basis. They call it a special pension then.
Yeah.
So the cabinet could do it, eh? The cabinet could do it. I know under the new National Party, it was done in several instances where people wrote to cabinet and requested. So the act is there, the law is there, so they have no excuse really. Because they give the impression NNP never did anything on pension. That's the impression they try to give.
So why you behaving like that?
Well, brother, your guess is as good as mine.
Come on.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. Anyhow, tell my friend Pammy I'll say good night, and I like Pammy. Tell her the Rasta man that always come by her and give her a sale.
Man,
I always look out for me, good friend.
We love Cammy. We don't like her. We love her.
Yeah, Pammy is a good friend. I always support Pammy and look for Pammy.
Yes,
she's a good lady. You know?
Yes, man.
So anyhow, you have a good night and keep up the good work while you're doing.
Thank you very much, bro.
And Sheldon, and Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday coming. We have a breakfast. So I want you to show it out for us. That at Vole Pasture Road going up by Mr. Posey shop, Posey Village.
Oh yes.
That will be starting at 7 o'clock. Lunch will be prepared for about 7 too.
Okay,
and
great.
Breakfast. So show it out for me.
Okay, great. We'll do.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you, bro.
Yes, man. We're working very hard.
Yeah, man. Blessings.
All right. You have a good night.
All right.
And I hope I'm here, man.
Well, I have a feeling she might be at the meeting, eh?
All right.
I have a feeling she might be at the meeting.
Do what you're doing.
Yeah, no problem, brother. All right. Yes, indeed, folks. And I want to mention two things here before I move forward. Yeah, I want to use another word because I think that, yeah, anyway. Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox, he's having a barbecue fundraiser up there. Those are you in Carriacou? Carriacou people. Right. Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox, he's having a fundraiser barbecue that's taking place on Saturday, starting at 5:30 p.m. at the Cross Restaurant and Bar in Leicester. I wonder if I know that location, boy. At the Cross Restaurant and Bar in Leicester, that's starting at 5:30 on Saturday. All right, that's the Care for Nevia. So all funds are going in relation to that. I expect a call from a good friend of mine to give me a call in relation to that. Yeah, girlfriend, give me a call and give me some details in relation to that. Also, folks, I will be asking you all to help. I'll get when the GoFundMe is put up, there is a child. I think the child is about 3 years old. Yeah, about 3 or 4 years old. And that little one has a kidney issue. Now, they are being flown out for medical treatment. So those are you in Miami, those are you in Florida, please contact me because we have to try and help as much as possible, right? So I know that the child is flying out. Yeah, the child is going to be flown out over the next few days, and they're heading to the Children's Hospital in Miami. So those of you in Florida, those of you in whichever part of Florida, I know it's a big place. Believe me, I know it's a big place. I know when you say Miami, people think it's just, but I know it's a big place. But those of you that can assist in whichever way, let me know. I'll put you in direct contact. Me, I like this thing you send it to me to send to them. And nah, I'll put you in direct contact with the family so that you can give whatever support they need to get. I think they need to raise, I think it's about 20,000 for the surgery that has to be done. And it's a beautiful little child. Yeah, so whatever you can do, just message me either on the on the WhatsApp and so, message me. Don't send the message on the Facebook, please. I don't get the messages on the Facebook really, because of how Facebook is set up. I don't generally get messages when people message me on the Facebook. So send the message via WhatsApp. I'll provide the number for the family and so on, so you can get in contact with them to assist in whichever way possible. So it's a little child, just about 3-4 years old, a little girl, and she has a kidney issue, has to do emergency surgery, and they are seeking assistance. So folks, contact me. I'll give you the number so you could contact them and so on. All right. 44073. No, that's not your number. That's your number to call here now. 4407377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yeah, those are the numbers to call and get on the inside. Also, folks, remember your donations to the program. Whether it's $5 or $50. As I said, there's so much more that we can do outside of the program if we all get together. And I'll say this, if everybody that's watching on a nightly basis gives $5 a month, just $5 US, $5 a month, or $13 and something cents EC, and we put that together, there's a lot of work that we can do out there in communities and so on. There's a lot that we can, a situation like this, we could have already probably made a significant donation towards helping them get that done. You see, as I usually say, sometimes everybody feels somebody else is tying out the sheep, and the sheep out there starving, because everybody else might feel, well, okay, somebody else has donated or somebody else has donated. I could give you all a list of the people that donate, you know. Yeah, because it's basically the same people that might send something every other month or so on. Yeah. And people may think that, yeah, the donation thing they collect it. No, that's not the case. Yeah. And I'm even willing to open it out and let you all see what's there and how much has been coming in and that sort of thing, because there's nothing to hide here. All right. 4407377 and 347-329-3101. So the link is on the YouTube. The link is also on the Facebook. It's on the website. You can go there, you click on the link, and you'd follow the instructions to make your donation. So whether it's $5, $10, $15, $20, whatever it is, make your donations there. All right? 4407377.
Like Trinidad. Here he came back from England. That day was liberation. He brought back the ice cold.
Well, my good friend April, no, they don't want us to talk about the fact that the Prime Minister is renting when there is a perfectly good Prime Minister's residence there. Yeah? So we're hearing that the Prime Minister is renting. You're hearing all kind of things, you know. All kind of things happen in this place. I mean, we heard a news story the other night. I didn't want to believe that one. I didn't want to believe the news story I heard the other night. Folks, you all will remember at, I can't remember the exact time last year, but during last year, there was a situation where several guns were found on Port St. George in a container. Several guns and ammunition were found in a container on Port St. George. High-powered weaponry. That even if you have a firearm license in Grenada, you're not allowed to have those type of weapons. Yeah? So you're talking about semi-automatic rifles and so on. That's what was said, because for some very, very strange reason, I can't remember seeing a picture of the person who was charged for it. I don't know why, but I never saw a picture of the person who was charged for that. Only to hear that there were other shipments that came in afterwards with more guns in them. So you had the first shipment that had X amount of guns, and then you had other shipments that came in afterwards to the same individual with more guns in them. Then you had the idiotic and nonsensical excuse being used that the person is ex-military. That's not an excuse. Many of you listening to this program are either active members of the U.S. military or ex-members of the U.S. military. Can any of you tell me if you were allowed to take the gun that you used to patrol and thing with to go home? There's a particular reason. They don't allow people to go with the guns that you use. So you're not in the Marine Corps and you retire from the Marine Corps and they allow you to take your gun. They don't allow that. In fact, you go out on a patrol in a foreign country or so, as you come back to the barracks, you're not even allowed to keep it with you on the barracks. You have to go and place it into the armory. You're not walking about the barracks with your weapon on you. So to use the excuse that this person is ex-military is like, okay, this person was a soldier and these are the guns they were using as a soldier. So they come back in Grenada with their gun. Don't try that stupidness with us. We ain't dotish. I have several members of my family that are active in the military outside, both in the US and the UK. Several members of my family. Yeah? In different branches. Who in the Navy, who in the Army, who in the Marine Corps, all different things. Several members. They don't leave and go home with the weapons. So the mere fact that the story started out like that has me suspicious, because a caller here made a certain accusation. And when I heard that case get thrown, it kind of bring me back to that. Caller, I remember what you said, caller. Yeah, I remember what you said. Because it kind of started to bring me back to that. Because I realized when there's certain things in this country, you have it kind of, you hear about it and then it kind of covered down. You as a Marine, you're on active duty, right? Even on active duty, there are only certain circumstances which you are allowed to carry a firearm. And when you're off duty, you return that to the armory. You don't take it and go home with it. You don't put it in your van or your truck and you go home with it. What stupidness are they trying to tell me? About the person is ex-military. So they started the narrative of creating an excuse of what has taken place even before it got to the stage of what we're hearing it got to now. You ever see a picture of the person? Any of you ever see a picture of a bullet, much less a one of those guns? How come? If did he go up in St. Patrick, in Johnny Jackson place, Miss Millison, and did they find a filetto? You'd have seen a picture of it though, ain't it? You would have seen a picture of it. You would have know who the individual is because you'd have seen a picture of him too. Some people don't know it's a filetto. Let me leave it like that. If you don't know it's a filetto, you don't know it's a filetto. Yeah? If they find a filetto, then they putting it up. But you hear all of these things, and not one shipment, several shipments. Something more in that mortar than the pestle. Just remember I say that. Because I'm trying to figure out how all of a sudden that case just boom. You're hearing that the case drop. And as soon as the amnesty, well, I'm to get that person an amnesty. How? The Port Authority don't know anything about it. They were not informed. Well, what take place there? What take place there? How come we never see picture of that person? Because I realize when there are certain connections, photos don't appear and things are covered up. So, there was a death at a hotel in the south of the island. An individual was arrested. Only one of the newspapers and them happened to be up there. So they get a picture of the individual. So that happened, right? Ding, bam, ding, right? That happened. So after that has happened, and they get the picture of the individual and so on, you realize you don't hear nothing about that again. Who used to be the lawyer at the hotel? Because they were denying and he was hearing all kind of thing before that. Yeah? You was hearing all kind of thing before that. You wasn't hearing nothing about, you heard that somebody died. Then you realize all kind of things start to get quiet down. Next thing you hear the person get charged, bam, they just disappear. They hear, from what I hear, that you believe they're probably on the island. But you realize when there are certain connections, You don't see pictures. You don't hear stories, all that kind of thing. So trying to tell me, a person who knows better, who has family members who knows better, who have friends who know better, even ex-police officers, Mr. Nimrod Olivier, where they? Even ex-police officers in the United States also, you may have your service pistol. And the only way you would get that service pistol, according to which state you're in, they have different rules, different places. But I could tell you, in New York State, you have to go and make an application. The don't just say, hey, you're going home, boy, hold that. You feel it, sir? You could have had that firearm for the last 20 years. You're going home, the don't just say, boy, well, you had that all the time. Man, don't bring that in, hold that. They don't do that. There is a process that you have to go through. A request that has to be made before you can get that firearm. And even if you have to buy another firearm in the US, in New York State, even if you are an ex-police officer, you may get preference, but you still have to get documentation that's stating that you are a good person and you left the police force with good conduct and that sort of thing before you get that access to be able to even purchase a firearm in the first place. So don't come and give me the story about they was in the army and they come down with the thing. That's nonsense. What are you fooling with that? Hey, we have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Hey, Sheldon.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Okay.
Yeah, man. You're live, go right ahead.
Today on the news, I saw a in a state about music and music not having an effect on people, and people got a choice to make, and the music isn't thing. But music, that would have been my contribution on Tuesday night program. Music is a thing that has an effect on human psyche. You hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. You go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. It has an effect on the human psyche. Music has different genres in music. You don't play reggae music at carnival. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So even in the churches, you have different music. Certain churches have tambourine and other churches don't have. Certain people play slow music in the churches and some don't. The music is having an effect. Jamaican music and the rap music is having a definite effect on the young people throughout the Caribbean. I seen it here in Barbados. They got young people here, school children. They know every word of artists like Vybz Kartel and so that promoting sexuality and gangsterism and all of that. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And if you keep the music out of the young people's ears a little bit, especially on the public transportation and stuff, I think it will help keep them, because the world now is in a dilemma. And I think that what you're seeing in Grenada is something that you have to check in the earlies. And if the Prime Minister, as Minister of National Security, doesn't know how to get it done, and he doesn't put somebody in charge of doing the job, Grenada is going to be, I can't say the word, Sheldon, but really and truly, I think that he needs to resign as Minister of National Security and give somebody that has that kind of military force to know how to get it done. Right now here in Barbados, we having a kind of little conference with the Americans, and they're going to St. Lucia and they're going to Trinidad to try to show the governments how to deal with certain crime elements. You know, so that is my contribution tonight.
All right,
have a good night and all is well.
Thank you very much, my brother.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Music does have an effect on people's mood, how they behave, how they react, and so on. But in 1970, you could have controlled what music a person listened to. Easily. You could have controlled that. You know how? Because one, you have WIBs and them radio station there, and a certain music will never play on them. There's certain music that would never play on those radio stations back in the days. There was no possible way they could have made it into the studio in the first place to get on air. Outside of that, it meant that you had to go and buy a vinyl record or whatever it is, and bring it home, and you had to have the proper player. And yes, I know about vinyl records and the needles and them kind of thing, and you had to go and buy a new needle for your record player and them kind of thing. Wait, that whole, I know about them thing too. So back in those days, it was a bit easier to censor the type of music that your children listen to, because it's daddy that in charge of that radio, not the child. Daddy that in charge of the gram. Them old people may say that boy real old, no, I just been around long. Yeah, daddy that in charge of the gram. Right? So when he put it on the BBC or he put it on, the dice were playing. So you could have controlled the type of music that children listen to, the type of music that the household listened to and had access to. Yeah, because the child couldn't go and just take the record and go and play and that kind of thing. You're mad? You go and scratch daddy record? You're leaving evidence, Yeah, you go and scratch the record, there ain't problem. Yeah, you're getting a hiding when you reach home. So it was much more difficult to be able to, it was much more easier, to be able to control the type of music that people listen then. It started getting more difficult in the 1980s into the 1990s when you started having Walkmans and TK cassettes. Yeah? Because if you know what this is used for, if you used to use cassette, you know what this was used for, right? Nice. For the younger ones, this is what you used to use to rewind your cassette sometime. Right? Yes, a pencil. That is what you used to use to rewind your cassette, right? Or a big pen. So you rewind your cassette and so on with that. So it became a bit more difficult because a friend could make a mixtape and so on, and they could give an ex-friend, and you had your Walkman, and then came in the Discman and so on, where you had more and more access to different types of content. And right now, I could pull my mobile phone or I could go onto YouTube and listen to any type of music. You could go onto iTunes and you could find any type of music. So it is much, much, much more difficult to control the type of music that our kids have, our children, let me say children, kids is animal that jump up and down. Our children have access to, right? It's much more difficult. It ain't daddy with the gram and the 45s. Yeah, it's not daddy with that again. Or when he put on the transistor radio and so on, sometimes you see he moving around with the local radio because he's trying to pick up cricket. It's not them thing again. Yeah? It is, you could take this, because this is now your camera, where you used to have them all the Polaroid camera, where you snap a picture and after you take out the picture, you have to take it and fan it for the picture to form. All you remember those, right? The Polaroid camera, and you fan the picture until the picture form, and them little children wondering what this man talking about. Yes, they had cameras that wasn't on the phone. You snap a picture and you had to pull out the picture and then you had to fan it for the picture to form on the thing, right? But all of that now is in this. Everything is in this now. So it becomes more and more difficult when they have access to it, and sometimes you block off certain things on it, and they find, small as this, sometimes they find the workaround. Yeah, because everything in technology that they block, they have a way to get around the block, There's no such thing as a permanent block when you're talking in relation to that. So it is an issue when it comes to the type of music that our children listen to. As parents, you try to talk to them as much as possible. You try to engage them as much as possible. But you make your children, you don't make them mind, I'm talking from personal experience. You make the children, you don't make them mind. You talk, you try all sorts of things, but at the end of the day, the child has to make that conscious decision that they're going this direction or that direction. You can offer them all the tools. You can give them all the opportunities, but in themselves, they have to realize that I am going this direction or I'm going that direction, and there must be a reasoning of why they want to go this direction or that direction. So yes, the music is a problem, but how do you stop it now? Yeah? How do you stop it now? They have access to nearly anything you could think about. It's online. And then what we usually go to, is just a very small part of the internet. There is nearly quadruple that amount that are there in what they call the dark web. There are many more things out there in the dark web. I wouldn't suggest going there. Don't use Onion and go there. Well, Onion is not the fruit, but a website. Don't go there because you might find your computer hacked or all sorts of weird things happening. So don't go on the dark web unless you know what you're doing. But there are all sorts of things taking place on the dark web as well, and children know how to access it. So they may be going to a website that you look at and you find totally innocent, but there may be all sorts of things going on there. If you don't know and educate yourself, there may be all sorts of things going on there that you really don't want them involved in. All right, so yes, the music is an issue as well. Yeah, folks, so I was telling you all, this nonsensical story about, is an ex-Solian thing. I have my concerns. That is not an excuse. That is not even a template for a story. It just means that they have the training and they know how to operate. Yeah, they have the training, supposedly, and they know how to operate the firearms. So supposedly they have the training and they know how to operate the firearms, right? But it doesn't mean that the firearms that came were formerly the property of the United States Army. In fact, there's a reason that the United States, they have civilian versions of the firearms that they have for the military. They have civilian versions because they don't want civilians to have the same thing that the military have. So they don't want civilians to have the same things as the military. So they create civilian versions of it. So you're telling me the army going to give civilians the same weapon that they have civilian versions for? Something ain't right with that story, and I think we need to dig a little more into that one. We seriously need to dig a lot more into that. I ain't trust that one. We have to dig a lot more into that one. 440. So wait, all you feel are supposed to afraid because it's gone. You ain't afraid. When you have to go, you have to go. And how you go is not up to you. 440-7377 347-329-3101. Yes, and I'm seeing some ex-military people telling me that, no soldier could leave the base with a weapon. In fact, some soldiers on the base can't even go to different parts of the base with a weapon because they're afraid sometime one of these guys go off and they just open fire on the others. So if you are going on a particular mission, if you are on guard duty or so, you are issued a weapon to go and do that. And at the end, you bring it back and it is logged in. It's a process. It is logged in to the armory. And giving you that and say, well, go home to Grenada with that. Chopping yourself, come and tell me. 440-7377. Nonsense. 440-7377. That is the number for you to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. And indeed, let me say a special good night to my listeners out there in St. Kitts. We hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. And our listeners in St. Lucia. Yeah, whichever part of St. Lucia. I see you have a thing taking place with all your Port Day. And I think we need to speak to Brother Spider soon again, Yeah, our good friend Spider out there in St. Lucia. I think we need to speak to Spider Montu sometime soon again. Because I'm seeing certain things happening in St. Lucia. And I have a sneaky suspicion we may see some of those things being replicated here in Grenada. The same as we're seeing some things happening in St. Kitts, you may see them replicating here in Grenada. So we have to be extremely vigilant as to what is taking place in those countries to know what's going to be happening in our country as well. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. And yes, I will, folks, just the link is there on the site. It is where you see the go to Fed thing there. Yeah, that is the link to make your donations. Yeah. So this is it. Yeah, let me just put it here. Right here, because somebody's asking about it here. Let me just place it here. Nice. So that is it. Let me see. I put the right thing. No, I put the right thing now. Papa, you and nearly put the wrong thing in all you. 440-7377. That's the number for you to get onto inside of tonight's program. Yes, indeed. That is the number for you to get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yeah. And folks, remember on Tuesday, We will be speaking with political leader of the New National Party, former Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. We will be speaking with him. He will be live on with us on Tuesday, right here on Talking Points. All right, so we're looking forward to that one. Let your friends, let your family know. Talking Points on Tuesday, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. Also letting you all know, reminding you all that tomorrow night, we will not be having the Friday night forum tomorrow night, yeah? So there will be no Friday night forum tomorrow night, either next week. Hopefully by the following week, I could make it up and have the Friday night forum. But this week and next week, we will have to forego the Friday night forum, and we will return with it in about 2 weeks' time. We'll return with the Friday night forum. So again, no Friday night forum tomorrow night. All right? None tomorrow night. All right? And yeah, well, I hear the Prime Minister about to travel. This time he's going to Ghana. Yeah, no, I hear that he's going to Ghana. Yeah, so I don't know if he's reciprocating in relation to the trip that the Ghanaians took the last time and they came, and so I don't know if he's reciprocating in relation to that, but I do know that he is going to Ghana. That is coming up, I think, this weekend or next week, or when he's going. Yeah, he's going to Ghana. So yeah, I don't know who he's leaving as the Minister of National Security and the Prime Minister again, because I realize there's only one man getting the blind. But if you don't realize what's taking place with him, that one man making sure that he advertise himself and he push himself, so let the Prime Minister don't understand what's going on with him there. Yeah? Get nobody else a blind. Well, Karine never here, so she can't get a blind. But the others, at least get somebody else a blind, man. Hey. So Ron can hold the Prime Minister chair for a few days, man. Come on, man. I say give Prime Minister a run. Let Ron hold Prime Minister for a few days, man. Yeah, man. I say give it to the short man. Give Ron Prime Minister for a few days. And folks, especially those of you in Carriacou, explain to me. I don't ever hear the Minister for Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs go anywhere on any trip. It's all the others here they're going out. And bear me out, folks. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. The rest of you, any of you ever hear of the Minister for Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs going out to represent Grenada anyway, or that kind of thing, or he gone to this or he gone to that or so? I think if it's one minister that ain't traveling a lot, as far as I know, is he? Maybe the only traveler that travels between Grenada and Carriacou and Petit Martinique. That may be the main traveler that's here with him, but I wonder why all the man look blind and everybody else jumping plane. All of a sudden, all ain't talking when all go in Dubai, like if we don't know all still going in Dubai. But all ain't talking about when all go in Dubai and all go in the Middle East, no, all just going. Yeah? All ain't sending no report and say, well, we go in there and we go in. No, let's stop that now. Yeah? But Grenadian people still want to know the full volume of travel and where you all have been going and the general cost and all that information is still requested by the Grenadian people. So we're still waiting to hear all of that. All right? So yes, folks, once again, 440-7377, 347-329-3101. And we only have roughly about 15 minutes remaining on today. Well, actually 10 minutes remaining on tonight's program. Because as it's the final program for tonight, I need to do a little wrapping up in studio. So I'll have to complete about 5 minutes earlier than normal. So if you've got to call, you've got to call now, eh? Just in case the Public Service Commission don't know who this individual is somebody by the name of Finley Jeffrey. Or they might know him, eh? They say that the country is in decline. You might want to listen to some of the songs that he sings this year and he sang last year. And so before you go after the little people in the ministries, the local officers in different departments and so on, the supervisors and the different people, before you go after them, start at the top and then work your way down, eh? If you're touching one, you have to touch all. We're doing just like we do. Only hear anything about the PDA, the demolition people place again? All of a sudden, they're gone quiet. They're still going around and moving people place at the side of the. How come that go very quiet? I wonder what took place. Because I know when I'm passing, I'm still seeing the people there on Port Highway. I wonder what happened there. Because when the people from the Port Authority, You remember we said on this program that they need to wait until the very last minute and then file an injunction in the court. When they went there in the court, there was no court order there for the removal, you know. So I don't know what was the legal basis of the documents that were served to these people, because there was nothing on the files in the court asking these people to vacate. Nothing was there.
Them Yankee gone, she's still alive. Many others would
So anybody, let me know. Are they still moving people left, right, and center? Are they moving people or that kind of...
She's only 50. Give her some time. She's not yet in her prime. She just reached half a century.
Oh God, why ask that question? All the people on them, all they have no respect. I'm not going to repeat what I see you all saying in the... I am not going to repeat what I see you all saying in the chat. I just ask a simple question. Simple question. If all you does see the MP for Carriacou and Petit Martinique get a little blind, the man does get to make a little trip, you know. If he does get to go, you know, like another Caribbean island then. If they ain't even send him another Caribbean island, they ain't getting him a look at Canada and them kind of thing, boy. All you ain't getting him a look at New York every now and again. Get him a, but I'm talking from a Carriacou brother, man. Get him a look at trip too, man. All you want to hold all the trip for all yourself? Nah, give him a trip too.
But they talking trash.
Don't treat the MP like that, man.
She is so unique, beautiful and sweet, and she's
Don't treat my brethren like that, man. Get him a look at blind too.
she has some way to
Triple up and cut. Get him a look at thing.
That's why I say give her some time. She's not yet in her prime. She's only 50. She's still growing, still maturing. Relax and take it easy. No one can be there.
Lord, what I go and start on the... What I go and start in this chat there?
She winning medal in athletics, in the World Games and the Olympics. I perfect
You people have no chill button.
She faced Ivan, that deadly storm, and as that done, Emily come, she take.
And someone is asking for a specific song. Somebody's asking for a specific song. As I say, I'm just leaving the phone lines open, folks. It's the last few minutes of tonight's program. We have roughly about 7 minutes remaining on tonight's program. So give me a call. Give me a call now. I say, oh gosh, man, you all have just absolutely no chill, man. All you say, Lord God, my goodness. All the people behave now.
Whoa, yo, yo. Yeah. Politics, oh, yo, yo, politics. You divide Grenada and that's no kicks. I don't like it. Politics, politics. Now so many things I will have to fix. So I go fix up them old police station to hold those who murder and rape. Because I fed up reading the media about an ex-prisoner escape. And I go fix up all those high prices that most Grenadians can't afford. Instead of demolishing those vendors' booths along the side of the road, I keep them balling with the mouth closed. Oh God, baby Jesus, ease up the blows. Grenadian balling with the mouth closed. The higher the monkey climb is more we expose. Grenadian balling with the mouth closed.
So folks, yeah, just remember the donations people have been asking how. So you go to the link that I've put into the chat. You can go onto the link.
Careful with the tongues when you're picking.
And from there, it will give you the instructions of how to make your donation, yeah?
Fast transformation in we must. The people balling anywhere you pass. Transformation.
Anne-Marie, my good friend. Yeah, Anne-Marie does sell in tongue. Anne-Marie, you make a jail today, girl? They pick you up. I see Anne-Marie. I pass in tongue. My good friend Anne-Marie, I see her. She usually sells fruits and so in town. And this morning, I see she had to pack up and move. So I don't know if they did end up picking her up or so on. And again, we continue to say, it's not that we agree with sidewalk vending. Yes, people need proper egress. You need to be able to walk and so, and right. But as a government, if you're caring, what you attempt to do is create an avenue, create another location so that these people can go. Remember, under the new National Party, at a point in time, over by the market, they used to block the road at a particular place. People could go and sell there. Then they had moved it to the side, it was at the side of Foodland for a period of time. They used to block the road there on certain days. People could go and sell what they have to sell there. Then you had it moved over to the stadium. So you had the stadium car park. And a lot of people used to feel okay to go and shop across there because you could drive. Instead of with town where you really don't have much parking, over the stadium you could park, you come out your vehicle, you go, you buy your goods, you bring it back into your vehicle and you go your way. So a lot of people like to be able to go over there and shop. So if you're doing something, I mean, come on, people have the bills to pay, they have their family to take care of and so on, and you're just sending people to just pick them up. I mean, come on.
I will say, yes, I love the Progressive Senses Hotel making a suggest. But then I remember Adrian Thomas was the one who led the protest. But now we rubbing up them same white boys like a bed bug in the night. But just remember the local workers and make sure that you treat them right. Don't keep them balling with the mouth closed. Oh God, baby, Jesus is up the blows. My people balling with the mouth closed. They say when you're poor is when you expose. My people balling with the mouth closed. Oh God, and this is up the blows.
You see that time for me to go and wrap up, eh? I find all you just saying all kind of thing under the chat day. All you messaging me and saying all. I just ask a simple question. Because if you're seeing everybody else going out and every time you hear Minister so-and-so gone, Minister so, and I read the government gazette on a weekly basis. So I check to see which ministers have been out of state or are out of state and so on and who has been holding on for them. And I find my partner in Carriacou again a blind red. Painting place pink and so on. Make certain statements about bring him in the mental home and so. But I mean, get the man a look at blind, man. The man could get a look at trip too. That is Mr. Minister, you know.
They say when you're poor is when you expose. My people balling.
And folks, before I take this tune from the top again, let me just say this, Mr. Kelly Klein, Rootsman Kelly, sang this song. He gave the just a taste of the song. The song hasn't been completed yet. He's just doing the song. Because you might find more verses in it. You never know. But he's doing the song. Right. You have people attacking him. When I say attacking, verbally. Cussing the man. You have people all on social media. Listen. Is what same Scholar and Beast and different people didn't say about the new National Party. They could ever say anybody meet them and threaten them, they go do them this and they go do them that? Anybody ever throw us at what people just say, but I don't like that man and thing, but all of a sudden no. Yeah? It's the worst thing. Anytime you open your mouth to say something about the NDC, and you know that again is another dangerous thing we have to be careful with. Because you see, it's one thing when people are able to speak and able to say how they feel and so. But when it becomes a case where every time you open your mouth, they had the goon squad on social media that run to try and attack you and say all kind of things about you. Things they know, things they don't know, things they make up, all kind of things they come in and say about you. And because 88% of them is fake profile anyway, they feel free to just make any accusation and say anything about anybody. And all of that is a concerted effort to shut up supporters of the New National Party so that you don't speak on things, you don't say anything when things are happening. That is a very unfortunate situation we should not allow to continue. All right, folks, as I said, that's it for Talking Points for tonight and for this week. I've got to run out, and we will be back on Monday with more Talking Points for you folks. Those of you out there in Carriacou, remember down at the Leicester Cross. Let me see if I put it in already. Right, that is taking place this Saturday from 5:30 for Nevia. That's the barbecue fundraiser down at the Cross Restaurant and Bar in Leicester. So make sure and go. And those of you in Petit Martinique, jump the boat, come down too. All right, yeah. And if you're in Grenada and you're going up to Carriacou over the weekend, please, it's a worthy cause. Go on out there and support. And folks, remember, you can message me. I will give you the number for the individual, for the child, the other child that has the issue. And also remember your donations to Talking Points. That's all the time we have for tonight. I ain't balling with my mouth closed. I open my mouth and talk. But some people balling with their mouth closed. Just remember, in everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you, not about you.
Politics, politics. You divide Grenada and that's no kicks. I don't like it. Politics, politics. Now so many things I will have to fix. So I go fix up them old police station to hold those who murder and rape. Because I fed up reading the media about an ex-prisoner escape. And I go fix up all those high prices that most Grenadians can't afford. Instead of demolishing those poor vendors' booths along the side of the road and keep them balling with the mouth closed. Oh God, baby Jesus, ease up the blows. Grenadian balling with the mouth closed. The higher the monkey climb is more we expose. Grenadian balling with the mouth closed. Oh God, baby Jesus, ease up the blows. My people balling with the mouth closed. Careful with the tongues when you're picking roads. Why the hell food prices gone up so fast? Transformation in we must. The people balling anyway you pass. Transformation. They say you only looking out for the upper class. Transformation in we must. You don't care if the poor ones are to eat grass. Transformation in we must. Hey. Politics, politics. Me closest neighbor stop tell me howdy, all because of politics, politics. Family and friend turn me enemy. I will say yes, I love the Progressive Senses Hotel making last suggest. But then I remember Adrian Thomas was the one who led the protest. But now we rubbing up them same white boys like a bed bug in the night. But just remember the local workers and make sure that you treat them right. Don't keep them balling with the mouth closed. Oh God, baby Jesus, is up the blows. My people balling with the mouth closed. They say when you're poor is when you expose. My people balling. Oh God, and this is up the blows. My people balling with the mouth closed. Listen, why the hell you remove the cap from the gas? Transformation in those in my tongue, they can't even last. Transformation in we. Hold on. Hold on. Let me hear all this sing the thing. Transformation in we mass. Mass are saying, right? Let me go again.